Hey guys, Lauren Losing here for my week 87 update from vertical sleeve gastrectomy surgery, which I had on August 21st, 2013 at Massachusetts General Hospital with Dr. Denise G. I feel like this is my start to the last several videos that I've had. This is not going to be a usual weekly update. However, it should be better than the last few. I'm in a much better mood. I'm in a much better headspace. I actually have a number for you guys that I'm not going to necessarily get to immediately. This is not going to be a recap of WLSFA and the cruise. I'm kind of even debating if I need to do one. Not that I didn't have a great time, but I'm sure you guys are hearing it from so many people. So if you want a complete other video about it, let me know in the comments. If you want me to give a brief synopsis of it, either in my next weekly update or in a separate video, do like a little 5-minute video on it, let me know. But other than that, this is going to be a health and fitness update. So my high weight, which was my first appointment at the weight center, I was 269 pounds. Day of surgery, I was 245.5. My maintenance range, which I hit 135, which was my first scale goal. I have a few scale goals. That was my first scale goal where I felt comfortable kind of like claiming goal. Was 135, and I hit that. I believe it was like June 22nd or something like that. I checked recently. That's the only reason I know the date. It was end of June, mid to end of June 2014. So I was able to maintain pretty much within that range. So I guess my range was like 130 to 138. I got down to 132 a couple of times. I was not able to maintain that for more than a week, so I really don't count that. So between like 135 and 138, I would say was my maintenance range. I got up to 140 a few times, but kind of quickly went back down. So I was able to pretty much maintain that until the beginning of February. I think maybe in January I'd gotten back up to like 140 or something at one point. Then New Orleans hit, and I honestly, the times that I have gotten derailed, and I'm not blaming anyone but myself, it's me who gets derailed and derails myself, it's no one else. But it seems to be on vacations. I don't know, I don't necessarily eat that badly at first, like when I'm on the vacation. There might be like one thing that I end up eating and then it snowballs. I think when I went to Tampa, I kind of fell off for a little bit, so that was a year ago, and I think kind of skinny pop kind of spiraled me into that. I also do a lot of heavy drinking when I'm on vacation, so I need to kind of reevaluate. I probably should have figured that out before now, seeing as I've gone on several vacations since WLSFA of last year. But I probably need to reevaluate my vacation mentality, seeing as I always have the mentality of getting right back on the wagon. Some people don't like that phrase. I use it, sorry. I always have the mentality that I'm going to get right back on the wagon when I get home, and it doesn't happen. So I think this is kind of going off on a tangent, but I think I need to reevaluate the way I vacation. So what happened? New Orleans, I drank a lot of sugary drinks. Before that, I was usually, aside from sangria, I was usually very conscious of drinking healthy alcoholic drinks, or at least like sugar-free alcoholic drinks. I would do like either mix my own Crystal Light and vodka, but this time I like had daiquiris and stuff. So I came back, I was sick, I stopped going to the gym, which is always not a good thing for me, and I kind of just fell into a funk. I didn't want, like, I had been on a quote-unquote diet for a year and a half. I was sick of it. There was a long period of time where it really didn't bother me. And it doesn't. When I'm in the right headspace, it really does not bother me to eat high protein, moderate fat, low carb. It really does not bother me, but I was bothered at that time. I was like, you know what? Fuck this. I just want to have some pizza. And I paid for it. So, you know, between when I got back from New Orleans and WSFA, you know, that's 2.5 months, and I ate, slept, did not work out. Yes, was my stress higher during those couple months? Yeah. But it's really not anymore, which I honestly think is one of the reasons why I'm able to get into this positive headspace right now, is because my stressors that were happening during that time that really made me not want to focus on food. Some people get hyper diligent about their food under times of stress, in which people, you know, tend to lose weight. I am the opposite. I would bet that most WLS patients are the opposite, and that they gain weight during stress. So yeah, so when I was stressed, how I ate was the last thing I wanted to deal with. I felt like I couldn't handle anymore. And I've mentioned this before, that I have a pretty low stress threshold, I think. High pain threshold, low stress threshold. So I was stressed over several things. School, stuff going on in my personal life, finances, which, I mean, I live at home with my parents, but I have racked up a huge amount of credit card debt. Anyway, when I was unemployed for a year and a half. You guys don't need to know that, but let's just say that a lot of those things have come and gone, and I am able to tackle things a little more now that I let fall by the wayside. So I left for WSFA at a higher weight. I didn't weigh myself at that point. I think my last known scale weight was 138 pounds, I think. So I probably went to WSFA probably around like 143, maybe. That's just a guess. So my new weight is coming up. So when I got home from the cruise, I got home on a Friday night, and I was being semi-realistic. I was like, you know what, I'll give myself the weekend. I'll give myself the weekend to get back on track, and then after the weekend, you know, Monday, I'll change it back over. That didn't happen, and I did something on Sunday evening that I have not done since well before surgery, and it really freaked me out. I did something that Fat Lauren did on a regular basis that I was super ashamed of. So I went to the grocery store after work. I bought some very unhealthy food, and I ate until I was very full. I didn't end up throwing up, so I didn't, you know, I have literally I've never gone past that point where I take a bite and it's too much and I go throw up. I just find it way too uncomfortable. But I did, I bought Doritos, pasta salad, potato salad, and ice cream. And it all over the course of a 24-hour period. So that is extremely, extremely shameful for me to admit. I mean, A, that I admitted that I did it before surgery, and B, that I have now done it after surgery. I felt like that was something that I could put in the past, and so it's a very big wake-up call to me that I have now done it after surgery. It's not something that I can't forgive myself for at all. I can definitely forgive myself for doing it, but I really never want to do that again. It was an extremely unhealthy behavior that I don't want back in my life at all. So, I'm glad that, you know, I did it once, and I'm not glad that I did it, but I'm glad that I did it once and I'm stopping it. So, other reasons that I am in a better headspace right now. So Monday, after, you know, while I was like eating, I slept till like 2 o'clock and I just had no energy. I think that's a couple of reasons. One, on days that so this happened a lot on vacation too. Like there were days where I just had no energy. I think a couple of reasons. One, I'm really bad at taking my, medication, which, you know, it's an ADD medication, but it does have that lovely side effect of giving me some energy. I'm really bad at taking my medication on days that I don't work. Two, I have not been taking my vitamins, so I would bet you that my vitamin levels are also low. Three, I drink a lot of caffeine on days that I work, and I didn't think that it was affecting me, but I think that on days that I don't work, and even I don't drink caffeine after like a certain time of day, I think I'm crashing kind of at night. And on the days that I don't work, I think that I'm affected by it more than I thought I was. So I'm gonna have to tweak a few things in there. I'm not really willing to give up all of my caffeine, but maybe I need to decrease it on days that I work, and also maybe have one serving on days that I don't work. I don't know. We'll see. So, yeah, so I spent all day in bed. I was eating. And then, so Tuesday, I actually got dressed to go somewhere, and I didn't end up going anywhere because my father was like, can you come down to my office, and we need to figure out some financial stuff. And, so I had to I was figuring out some stuff. And paying off some credit card bills, yay! And he said to me, so actually he like reported to my mom later that he had talked to me about it, so clearly they had talked about it and he had approached me. So he said to me, he knows that I've gotten frustrated in the past when mentioning like my weight or how I eat or something like that, so I think he approached it in a joke for that reason. He said, you know, I know you're an adult now, but I still worry about you. Am I allowed to be worried about you? And I was like, all right, what are you worried about? And I thought he was going to mention school because we were calling the school to, you know, talk about my withdrawal and all that stuff. And he said, I've noticed that you've been eating more and things that you wouldn't have eaten a few months ago, and that you really haven't eaten since surgery. Is there something else going on? You know, is there something wrong? Is there something that we can help you with? So, you know, I responded to him. I said, you know, like, I'm aware of what I'm doing. I just haven't been in the right headspace to deal with it. So I think that that was also a big wake-up call for me, is that, you know, I felt like it was kind of like my own private shame, even though I knew, like, on someone who's my size now, like 5'2", and I was 135 pounds, when someone gains even 5 pounds, I mean, you kind of notice. Might be not that noticeable at first, but, you know, when someone gains, I still haven't told you my number yet, because I'm getting there. Hold on. So when someone gains, you know, a little bit of weight, it's much more noticeable than when I was 250 pounds when I would gain 10 pounds. So I felt like it was my own private shame, kind of, even though I knew that other people probably could tell, but I was still fitting in my clothes. I looked fluffier in my clothes. Maybe my clothes have too much stretch in them or something, but I still fit in my jeans. I was, you know, thinking in my head, I was like, well, if I really gained that much weight, you know, like, I feel like I would have gone up a clothes size, and there are probably a few things that don't fit me right anymore, but like the majority of my clothes still fit, so I don't know. So the fact that my parents pointed out to me that they noticed that I was struggling, or failing even, my word. And I'm not being too, people always say I'm too hard on myself. I really don't feel like I'm being too hard on myself. I feel like people aren't hard enough on themselves sometimes. Alright, I won't get into that. I will just say that, I'm not a big fan of people who make excuses. Yes, there are reasons, but like, take ownership, people. Like, if you're gaining weight, not saying you're not struggling, I'm not saying it's not difficult, but stop blaming other things. Take ownership. Be like, listen, I'm struggling. I'm eating shitty. I'm not moving. Like, I'm having a hard time, but you know what? This is me. Anyway, my 2 cents. Anyhow, so the third thing that happened was that I had seen this a couple times before, but someone that I'm friends with on Facebook is running a diet bet that started today. So, you know, like, my stress, a lot of my stress is gone. My vacation has come and gone. I feel like I can focus on something else other than getting ready for WLSFA, and the cruise. You know, like, I'm not, my school stress is pretty much officially gone. One of my personal things that was going on has passed. I really don't have a lot of financial stress right now that I got my tax return. So, you know, my parents mentioning to me that they notice I'm struggling. I'm sorry this video is so long, by the way. I feel like it's kind of necessary, even though I'm going off in tangents at times. Also, do you guys like my lanyard? Squirrel. So, parents noticing, stress gone. I was on Facebook, and there is someone that I'm friends with on Facebook who was running a diet bet starting today. If you guys don't know what diet bet is, you can go to www.dietbet.com and read about it. So it's 4 weeks. There are, like, anyone can pretty much start a diet bet, and you can go on and search for one. It's 4 weeks. You have the 4 weeks to lose 4% of your body weight. It's a $30 buy-in, and at the end of the 4 weeks, whoever has lost the 4% of their body weight or more, everybody gets to split the pot of money. So I saw that someone was running it, and that it started today, and I was like, perfect. So I signed up last night. I did not realize that within within 8 hours or 9 hours or something of signing up that you had to weigh in, or else I probably would have signed up this morning and then weighed in. So I signed up last night and then had to weigh in last night, or else the time was up by like 2 in the morning. So I weighed in last night. The way they verify it is, so you have to be wearing clothing. I usually wear myself naked. So you have to be wearing clothing, so you have to take a picture of yourself in a full-length mirror standing on the scale, or someone has to take a picture of you standing on the scale, and then you also have to take a picture of your feet, like standing on the scale with the number there of how much you weigh, and then like a little code word on an index card, and that's how they verify it. You submit it, and then like a whole like team reviews it, and they verify it. So my starting weight for the diet bet was, drumroll please, 150.0 pounds. I was prepared for that number. That was kind of the number that stuck in my head because I was like, you know what? I probably gained about 10 to 15 pounds. That's around 150. So I'm like, you know what? Even if I got back up to 150, you know, 4% of that is only 6 pounds. After eating shitty for 2.5 months, it should be no problem for me to lose 6 pounds in 4 weeks. It's pretty much, it's initially starting over. So, you know how fast you lost weight in the beginning of, you know, like during your pre-op diet. Granted, I mean, I'm not starting at 269 pounds or 265 pounds or whatever I started my pre-op diet at. But, I mean, it's going to be the same shock to your body. So I'm going to lose a lot of water weight at first. So anyhow, so I weighed in at 150 pounds, you know, wearing a t-shirt and shorts after a day and 2.5 months of eating shitty. So I weighed myself again this morning just for my own knowledge of what I weigh, you know, the morning after. So I was 148.0 this morning. So for diet bet purposes, I am 150 and I have to get down to 144 in the next couple weeks, or 4 weeks. For my purposes, I weigh 148 right now. My personal goal in the next 4 weeks is to lose 10 pounds. So I would like to get down to 138, you know, in the morning with no clothes on after I've peed. That's how I weigh myself. So that's my personal goal. I expect, honestly, to get down to 144 by next Wednesday. I really, if I do stay 100% on plan, then that really shouldn't be a problem. So what does 100% on plan look like for me? That looks like protein shakes and whole foods. I don't want to do Quest bars. Honestly, after eating high protein and only when I'm hungry and I'm on more of a schedule, I'm sure that a lot of my restriction will come back. It always happens. But as of right now, I really don't have a lot of restriction, except for, you know, those random days when you do. But as a basic rule right now, because I've been eating the way I've been eating, I don't have a lot of restriction. So I really don't plan on eating Quest bars because they don't fill me up and they can be pretty calorie dense even though they're protein dense. So yeah, protein bars, eggs, chicken, turkey, steak, pork, any protein, and then vegetables. I will have fruit if I'm really craving something sweet, but I'm going to be pretty strict. And that is honestly the best way for me to get back on track. They've proven that abstaining from something that you are much more successful than if you allow yourself moderation. And I'm sorry, my foot's asleep. I have to stretch it out. And so that's how I've always been, and that's how I plan on getting back on track. As for the gym, I currently have 2 gym memberships, and I was pretty sure of the one that I was going to cancel. I got a new gym membership and I was going to cancel the other one. Well, the other one moved to a new facility, so it's at a brand new facility, and it now has bar classes, and it's open 24/7. So I have to go to my old gym now, which is now my new gym, my new old gym, and I have to see how I like that one. So I have no excuse not to work out. I have plenty of gym memberships, and guess what? The weather in Massachusetts is finally nice. So if nothing else, I mean, I can go out for a run. I can restart C to 5K. I don't think I need to start at week 1, even though I have, you know, not been to the gym since the end of February. I probably don't need to start at week 1, day 1. This is more information than you guys need, and this video is 25 minutes long. Okay, so I plan on working out. Honestly, I want to shoot for every day, and then, you know, the days that I don't make it, I don't make it. I mean, not like, oh well. Because if I shoot for every day, I can't say to myself, I'm only going to the gym 4 days a week, because that's how I go to the gym no days a week. I need to plan something really every day, and then, so then I will end up there, you know, 5 to 6 days a week. So that's the plan. I don't really have a specific workout plan right now. It's really, you know, go to the classes that fit into my time schedule and that I enjoy. And then other than that, I'm gonna do cardio and try to figure out my weight routine again. I haven't done a weightlifting routine in a long time. I might even shoot for, I might even pay for one to 3 like personal training lessons, and have, you know, a new weight program written up for me. So I think that's pretty much it. I think I came clean with my dirty shame. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it. So I just said that's it about 5 times. So as you guys can see, I'm in a better mood than I have been the past couple videos. I have more to say because I actually am doing stuff and, you know, trying to turn some things around. I was pretty stagnant before this and just not a great space. But, you know, sometimes you gotta hit rock bottom before you can come back up. So hopefully that was my rock bottom, because it felt pretty fucking shitty to me. And hopefully, you know, this is my time to shine again. That sounds really stupid, but yeah. Hopefully I will be on the rise again. So I will be checking back in with you guys weekly since I am like back on track. I'm going to try to be more regular about these videos. I feel like I'll have more to talk about. You know, I'm back in the losing game, which I wasn't in for a while, so there wasn't any change and there wasn't much for me to talk about. So now that I have more to talk about, I feel like I'm going to be making videos more often. So yeah, there will probably be other videos coming too. I'm going to try to maybe make a cooking video. I might do a day in the life of someone who is back on track. I don't know. Let me know if you want a WLSFA/cruise recap video. Let me know any other videos you guys want. Thank you to all my new subscribers. Sorry if you subscribed at kind of a time where I'm struggling, but I think that's good for people to see, you know, someone a little farther out. I'm like 20 months post-op now, and so I think it's hard to see, you know, thinking, oh, like someone who's had surgery and did really well for a long time, that they can struggle too. But I think that's also pretty humbling, maybe. I think it's humbling for me, actually, to see that, you know, you're not superhuman after surgery. You can definitely fall back down. But as they say, it's more important that you get back up. So guys, until next time. Well, I did this last time. I keep hitting the wrong button. Until next time.